Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're jumping right into a huge announcement from Microsoft Ignite. It's a brand new, totally cloud-native database service called Azure HorizonDB. And trust me, if you're building anything with Postgres, you are going to want to pay close attention to this.
So, here's the game plan. We'll kick things off by talking about the big problems that modern apps are running into. Then, we'll introduce HorizonDB as the answer. And after that, we'll do a deep dive into all the good stuff: its performance, its security, the built-in AI, and the tools that make developers' lives easier.
All right, let's just set the scene for a minute. If you're out there building applications today, you know the deal. The pressure is always on. Everything needs to be faster, smarter, more reliable, you name it. But the problem is, a lot of the time, the very foundation of your app, the database, just wasn't built for this kind of pressure.
So let's get specific. What are these modern apps really asking for? What are the non-negotiables for a database in today's cloud-first world?
Well, for starters, they need to handle just massive, completely unpredictable scale. We're talking both storage and compute. They need security that is absolutely ironclad and baked in from the start, not just tacked on later. They need to be AI native, with intelligence living right next to the data. And maybe most importantly, they need to let developers move at an incredible speed. The real dilemma? Trying to get all four of those things right at the same time has been almost impossible. Until now.
And that, right there, is exactly where Azure HorizonDB enters the picture. Microsoft basically looked at that dilemma and built a solution from the ground up. This is their cloud-native answer designed for pretty much any modern workload you can dream up.
So what is it exactly? Well, at its core, Azure HorizonDB is a fully managed database that's compatible with Postgres, which is awesome for anyone already in that ecosystem. But the real game changer is its cloud-native architecture. Look, this is not just Postgres running on some virtual machine in the cloud. Nope, this is a total rethink of how Postgres should operate to deliver absolutely massive scale.
Okay, let's talk about the first big pillar, performance and scale. Because let's be real, if your database can't keep up with the load, none of the other fancy features really matter, right? HorizonDB was engineered from day one to handle whatever you can throw at it.
And the performance numbers here are pretty wild. Thanks to some really clever innovations in the storage layer, HorizonDB can give you up to 3 times the throughput of standard open-source Postgres. For your users, that translates directly to faster, more responsive applications. It's a much better experience all around.
And when we talk about storage, get this. It automatically scales all the way up to 128 terabytes. You never have to think about provisioning storage or worry about running out of disk space. The platform just handles it. You get to focus on your app, not your infrastructure.
It's not just about the storage either. For those apps that get absolutely hammered with read requests, you can scale out your compute power to over 3,000 vCores. That kind of elastic scaling means your app can handle a massive surge in traffic without even breaking a sweat.
Okay, so performance is solid, but what about security? You know, for any app that's truly mission critical, protecting the data is absolutely everything. Well, HorizonDB was designed to be enterprise grade right out of the box.
And you can really see that commitment when you look at the features. For managing who gets in, you have native Microsoft Entra ID integration. To lock down your network, you use private endpoints. For high availability, your data is automatically replicated across multiple zones by default. And that's all on top of things like automated backups and integration with Azure Defender for Cloud. It's a seriously secure foundation to build on.
Now, let's get to what I think is one of the most exciting parts: how HorizonDB is built for this new age of AI. This isn't just a database that you can use for AI. It's an AI-native database, specifically designed to make building intelligent apps way, way faster.
Okay, so let's take a really common AI task, like filtered vector search. The old way to do this, maybe using an extension like pgvector, is a two-step dance. First, you find all the similar items, and then you filter those results down. It works, but it's slow. HorizonDB introduces something called disk-anan advanced filtering, which is just brilliant. It combines the search and the filter into one single, super efficient operation. And the result? You can see query latency drop by up to 3 times. It's a huge deal.
And it gets even easier. HorizonDB has AI model management built right in. This means you can just activate powerful embedding and ranking models from Microsoft Foundry with a couple of clicks. Something that used to be a really complex setup is now basically a zero-config operation.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Listen to what Peng-Cheng Su, who's the CTO at Alpha Life Sciences, had to say about this. He nails the key point. Because HorizonDB handles all that infrastructure complexity, his team can focus on what actually moves the needle, building amazing new AI capabilities.
So we've got performance, we've got security, we've got AI. But what about the day-to-day life of the developer? Well, HorizonDB is also about making developers way more productive and doing it right inside the tools they already live in.
I think every single developer watching has felt this pain. You get an alert, there's a sudden performance problem, a CPU spike that comes out of nowhere, and then begins that long, painful process of digging through logs and query plans trying to find the culprit. It can just burn hours of your day. Okay, now check out the new way of doing things. You're in VS Code, and you see that spike on your performance dashboard. With a single click, you tell GitHub Copilot to investigate. It immediately analyzes live metrics, finds the exact query that's causing the problem, and even recommends creating a new index to fix it. A major performance issue that used to take hours can now be investigated and solved in just seconds. It's incredible.
And there's even more good stuff for developers. The Postgres extension for VS Code is now generally available. It even has Copilot-powered tools to help you migrate from Oracle, which is huge. Plus, it's got built-in visualization for graph data using Apache Age so you can actually see the relationships in your data.
So, if we pull this all together, it's pretty clear. Each of these big feature pillars connects directly to a huge benefit for you. The performance and scale, that means you can build apps that handle any load. Enterprise ready, you can trust that your most critical data is secure. AI native, you're embedding intelligence right into your data layer. And the developer tools, you get to innovate way faster with a whole lot less friction.
You know, I think it's also really important to understand that this isn't just about Microsoft launching a new product. They are deeply, deeply invested in the open-source Postgres community. They're one of the top corporate contributors, with their team actively writing code that helps shape the future for everyone. It shows a real, long-term commitment to the whole ecosystem. So there you have it. That's Azure HorizonDB. It's a database truly built for today's world, from massive scale, for enterprise-grade security, and for the new wave of AI. The only real question left is, what are you going to build with it? If you're ready to get your hands dirty, the preview is officially available now in a few select regions. Now, participation is limited, so if you're interested, you'll want to head over to the link on your screen and apply. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I seriously can't wait to see what you all build.